What if I told you that your soulmate has already been chosen? That the person you'll love for the rest of your life, the one who will change your destiny, has already been chosen for you, not by you, but by Allah Himself? No need to swipe, no need to chase after love. Because this person isn't a coincidence. They're the result of a divine decree. But here's the most shocking part. They might not be who you expect at all. They might not be your ideal, your type, or even someone you imagine loving. Yet this person could already be in your life, silently, waiting, on a mission. Allah doesn't hide the truth from you. He prepares you to welcome it, but you still need to know how to read His signs. In this video, we'll explore together the clues you're ignoring, the truths your heart recognizes but your logic rejects, and the emotional shocks you'll feel when you discover that the person Allah has chosen for you may already be here. Get ready, because what you're about to hear won't just affect you, it might wake you up. 1. Divine decree. Even before your birth, even before you breathed a single breath of this world's air, your story was already written. Your name had not yet been spoken on earth, but it was already known in heaven. And in this story that no one can erase, there was another soul, a soul bound to yours, destined to complete it, to heal it, or to awaken it. In Islamic tradition, it is said that when the soul is breathed into the fetus, 4 things are immediately written by the angels: its sustenance, its lifespan, its actions, and who its companion will be. Yes, this person whose face you may not yet know, whose name you may not yet have heard, is already known in the invisible. This is not romanticism, nor is it a coincidence. It's about qada, the divine decree. So why do you sometimes feel this emptiness? Why does your heart always seem to call out to someone you can't yet see? Because your soul knows what your mind doesn't. That strange feeling, that silent connection with a person you don't fully understand, that emotional magnetism that can't be explained, it's not a mistake. It's the result of a choice made above the clouds. And sometimes that choice is beyond you. Perhaps the person Allah has chosen for you doesn't match your mental ideal. Perhaps he or she doesn't speak the same language as your ego. Perhaps their face didn't immediately attract you. But their presence awakened something sacred within you. Do you remember that person you can't forget? That look that stayed with you even after years? This feeling that you can't put into words, but which returns in your prayers, in your dreams, in your silence? What if it weren't an obsession, but a heavenly reminder? Allah doesn't choose to distract you. He chooses to align you. What you desire isn't always what will elevate you, but what you receive from Him, even if it disturbs you, is always exactly what your soul needs. There are people who enter your life like a storm. They turn everything upside down. They destroy your plans. They disrupt your comfort. And at first, you resist. You refuse to believe that this chaos could come from a blessing. But in reality, it wasn't disorder. It was a divine reorganization, an update of your destiny. For Allah writes nothing without a reason. Even detours are directions. You see, your soulmate won't always be gentle. Sometimes they're brutal. They're not there to stroke your ego. They're there to push you closer to your Creator. That's why some people hurt you, but awaken your faith. That's why some breakups have shattered you, but made you pray at night. That's why sometimes divinely written love isn't comfortable. It's transformative. And the truth is, you've felt it before. That strange moment when your heart clenches for no reason. That feeling of being connected to someone, even in their absence. It's not psychological, it's spiritual. So don't reject what your soul recognizes, just because your logic doesn't understand. Don't close the door to a soul your Creator has placed in your path, simply because they don't match your imagination. Allah's decree is sweeter than your most romantic dreams. But sometimes it begins with a trial, a separation, a silence, a misunderstanding. Because true love isn't always the one that makes your heart beat, but the one that elevates your soul. And perhaps the one Allah has chosen for you has already entered your life. Not with fireworks, but with a silent thrill in your heart. A reminder that the unseen is always working for you. Even when you don't yet have the answers, Allah has already written the ending. 2. The subtle signs you ignore. There is divine wisdom in the silences you pass through, a form of language that Allah uses, but that only awakened hearts know how to hear. These are not words nor clear dreams. They are whispers from the invisible, signs as light as the wind, but heavy with meaning for those who truly stop. You want confirmation. You pray. You ask for a clear sign. But often, the signs are already there. They don't shout. They don't hit you in the face. They whisper. And among these signs, there is this person. Not necessarily the most beautiful, nor the most eloquent, but the one whose presence calms you for no reason. The one who crosses your mind without you understanding why. The one you meet by chance, again and again. Do you think it's a coincidence? Nothing is random when it comes to the divine. There is wisdom in repeated coincidences. A name you hear often, a look you meet that never leaves you, a feeling of familiarity with someone you don't even know. And yet, instead of listening to your heart, you question your mind. You seek logic, a rational explanation. But the love that comes from Allah is not rational. It is spiritual. And in the world of the spirit, logic gives way to intuition. There are people whom Allah shows you, not by illuminating them with a visible light, but by offering you a profound peace when you are with them. You don't need to force yourself. You don't need to hide who you are. You just feel aligned. And sometimes it bothers you because you hadn't planned it, because you had a different image in mind, a different idea of love. You were expecting someone spectacular, but Allah sent you someone discreet, someone real. This is where you must understand something fundamental. Allah doesn't always send you what you desire. He sends you what your soul needs to grow, to heal, to elevate itself. And often, the packaging this person presents doesn't match your expectations. But what he or she carries in the invisible is exactly what your heart has always been searching for. So observe. Be attentive. There are messages in the details. That slight thrill you feel when you hear their name. That sense of serenity when you're in their presence, even without speaking. That strange timing when you think of them and they write to you. Those moments when you make a sincere supplication, and shortly after, that person reappears in your life. It's not a coincidence. It's a reminder. But are you ready to listen with your heart rather than your mind? The soul knows. It recognizes, even when your ego rejects, even when your past resists. Because the truth is, the person Allah has destined for you doesn't always arrive with fireworks. Sometimes they arrive in silence, in normality, in what you considered not enough. And that's precisely where the extraordinary lies. Allah wants you to learn to look beyond appearances, beyond the superficial. He wants you to feel what is real, not what is shiny, not what is perfect, but what is authentic. And what is authentic shakes your soul, not with noise, but with the silent truth it carries. So ask yourself, why doesn't this person leave your mind despite the months, despite the years? Why do you feel this peace that you can't explain when he or she is around? Why does everything seem confusing, except for this connection? There are signs that Allah sends you every day, but if your heart is distracted, you will never see them. And sometimes what you call a detail is actually your answer. 3. When trials are the path to the one you think failure means the end. You think that if love is broken, it will never return, but what you don't know is that Allah rebuilds from the ruins what you thought was lost. There are pains He allows to open your eyes, separations He orchestrates to redirect you to what is truly yours. You haven't lost. You've been saved. You haven't been rejected. You've been redirected. You haven't been forgotten. You've been prepared. Are you mourning a relationship that ended? Are you clinging to a love that didn't choose you? Are you tired of praying, hoping and dreaming? What if this pain was the purification your soul was waiting for? What if this emptiness you feel isn't a lack, but a space that your true partner is destined to fill? Testing is Allah's school. He prepares you for what you ask for, but He never gives you a gift without making you capable of honoring it. He doesn't give you someone just for you to destroy them with your insecurities, your impatience, or your unhealed past. Perhaps the person Allah has chosen for you is already ready, but you aren't yet. Or perhaps you're the one who's ready, but the other person still has to cross their desert. That's why it takes time. That's why you cry, why you doubt, why you go through long and painful silences. But know this: solitude, when it comes from Allah, is never abandonment. It's a spiritual retreat. It's a return to yourself. It's an invitation to become the kind of person you want to meet. Do you want a strong relationship? Become someone stable. Do you want someone who respects you? Learn to respect yourself. Do you want true love? Purify your intentions. Allah never forgets you. He watches you cry out in silence. He counts the tears you hide beneath your smile. And He knows. He knows what you want. But more importantly, He knows what you need. So sometimes He breaks your heart, but not to break it, to prepare it, so that he or she may be open enough, humble enough, pure enough to recognize the chosen one when he or she appears. And what will surprise you isn't just the person He sends you, but the moment He does it. When you no longer believe, when you think it's too late, when you've almost given up. Allah loves twists and turns. He loves reminding you that your story doesn't depend on your past, but on His will. And sometimes this will take strange paths. It involves broken engagements, broken promises, people who used you, silences that killed you inside. But despite all this, you still stand. You continue to believe, even with a tired heart. And it is this silent faith, this invisible perseverance, that your future spouse will recognize in you. Because this person will not seek a perfect version of you. They will recognize your wounds. They will respect your scars. Because they will have experienced their own. And that is the miracle. When Allah brings together two souls who have been through hell, and who finally recognize each other in the light. Not because they are perfect, but because they have understood that love is not about running away from trials. It is about going through them, together.
4. When your heart recognizes it before your eyes, there is a kind of encounter that makes no noise. A kind of recognition that doesn't come through the eyes, but through the heart. Not a rapid heartbeat, not a Hollywood sparkle, but a calm, an inner silence. And I know that needs no proof. You don't fall in love. You return to something you never truly left. As if your soul was saying, finally. When Allah unites two people who are connected to Him, their encounter isn't like fireworks. It's like a prayer answered in secret. A peace that no one around understands. Because this peace, it's not an emotion. It's a confirmation. And it baffles you. You had imagined love as a tornado, something crazy, loud, noisy. But Allah offers you a calm sea. And in this tranquility, you understand. Your soulmate isn't there to make your heart beat faster. She's there to soothe it. She's there to remind you of Allah without speaking, to invite you to be better without asking for more. She doesn't increase your anxiety. She lessens your agitation. You thought you would recognize love by euphoria. But in truth, the love that God approves of is recognized by serenity. This calm shocks you because the love you saw in TV shows, in songs, in stories, was chaos. But the love your soul recognizes is gentleness. No need for speeches, no need for exaggerated promises. He or she is there, present, true, and your heart knows it. It's not an illusion, it's a recognition, as if Allah were gently whispering to your heart, it's him, it's her. And even if your mind doubts, even if your eyes still search for flaws, your soul rests. It finds refuge. Because halal love, the kind that leads you to Allah, doesn't tear you away from yourself. It opens the door to return, back to your values, back to your faith, back to your authenticity. You become more of yourself, not less. You rise up instead of collapsing. You rise instead of losing yourself. And this kind of love begins with peace. He's in no hurry. He doesn't push you to doubt. He looks at you, he accepts you, he honors you. And you feel something unusual, not a rush of adrenaline, but a deep, inshallah, in your heart, a silent agreement, a yes that your soul pronounces, even if your tongue is silent. Because the soul recognizes what is aligned, and it rejects what is not. Even if the ego insists, even if appearances scream the opposite. So the next time you meet someone, don't look for fire. Look for light. Not the kind that burns, but the kind that illuminates without hurting. The kind that gently lights your path to God. The kind that doesn't distract you from what's essential, but guides you towards Him. And if you feel this profound calm, this inner silence, don't run away. Don't think it's boring or too simple. It's perhaps the greatest sign from Allah. This calm, it's Him who speaks to your heart. It's Him who confirms. It's Him who invites you to open your eyes, but to trust what your soul has already seen. 5. Be careful. Don't miss what your soul is calling for. Listen carefully. What you are experiencing may not be a mere coincidence. This message, this video, these words you hear, they may be the sign you were asking for. Perhaps you even made a dua recently. Oh Allah, show me. And here is the answer. Because Allah doesn't always send lightning bolts across the sky. Sometimes He speaks to you through simple everyday things, but powerful ones. A video, a word, a thrill you feel without explanation, a reminder that brings tears to your eyes. That is the language of the heart. What if what you are looking for is already here? Not in a distant dream, not in a perfect image you invented, but in your life, today, silent, present, true. That person with whom you feel at peace, that colleague who listens to you without judging, that friend who understands you without you speaking, that brother or sister in Allah who respects you deeply. And you don't see them. You don't want to see them. Why? Because they don't fit the image your ego has constructed. You may want someone spectacular, someone who looks like you on the outside. But Allah looks inside. He chooses for your soul, not for your Instagram filter. And your soul already recognizes it. You feel it when you're in this person's presence. You don't know why, but you feel aligned, serene, close to yourself, close to Allah. But your logic gets in the way. She says, he or she is too simple. That's not my style. I expected better. Be careful. This is where many people miss their destiny. They close the eyes of their hearts to follow the eyes of society. They reject divine blessings because they aren't photogenic. Don't be one of them. Don't miss the one Allah may have subtly placed in your path. The soul doesn't lie, it knows, it calls. But if you ignore its call for too long, you risk getting lost in the noise of superficial expectations. And here's the danger: you seek someone perfect, but Allah sends you someone righteous. Just for you, just for your path, just for your trial. And you don't recognize it because you look with eyes programmed by culture, instead of seeing with the eyes of faith. You ask for signs, but you refuse those that don't shine as you hoped. You want an answer, but you want it in a form you validate. And meanwhile, your soul cries out, it's him, it's her. And you look elsewhere. What you must understand is that divine beauty doesn't always strike with brilliance. It touches gently, it calms, it repairs. And often it shocks, because it doesn't resemble what you've seen elsewhere. But it is exactly what you needed. So ask yourself this question: am I missing someone Allah has already shown me? Look around you, not impatiently, but with discernment. Not with criteria borrowed from others, but with criteria that come from Allah. Respect, tranquility, sincerity, modesty, faith. If someone embodies all of these things, and your heart feels safe in their presence, listen. But perhaps it's not a mere coincidence. Perhaps this is the answer you've been waiting for. And if your soul has already recognized it, don't wait too long. Don't wait for an idealized version that only exists in your dreams. Allah sends you concrete blessings, not illusions. This is not the time to doubt. This is the time to listen and to move forward. If your heart skipped a beat at any point in this video, it's not by chance. It's not just a coincidence. Sometimes Allah sends you a reminder through a word, a voice, a video. Perhaps this was your sign. Perhaps this person is already in your environment and you were about to miss out. So don't let this message leave as it came. If you feel this video spoke to you, save it. Come back to it. Meditate on it. Share it with someone who is also waiting for a sign. And above all, raise your hands. Speak to your Creator. Ask Him for clarity, patience, and gratitude. For the one He has chosen for you brings you closer to Him. For true love is not two hearts gazing at each other. It is two souls moving toward Allah side by side.